It's
I mean,
recording. We'll
are
just...
you going to say who the drafts are? Who went where?
Um,
Thanks for that. Cheers, that.
I might put that in the fucking video. Hello everyone, my name's Gibbs and welcome back to the Gibbs Corner, otherwise known as the Wrestling Corner. I'm joined by Jack once again. Hello. Um, today we're going to be talking about a few topics once again on wrestling. There was a draft that happened the previous week. We're going to talk about Backlash and the review of that, and some interesting things at the end we'll talk about as well. To begin with, though, we'll talk about the 2024 draft, which started on SmackDown and ended on Raw. Jack, I think, has some thoughts on it. Overall opinions on how they did it, and what you did like and did like from it.
I like the draft. So overall, the draft I thought was, I think the expectations were quite high, weren't they?
Yeah.
Or people were thinking, man, it's going to be some big superstars being drafted, a whole big change up. But overall, if you look at the picture of it, a lot of people are still on the same brands, or the rosters are quite similar to how they were previously. Um, there's been a couple of call ups in NXT, which put in a couple of switchovers and things, but all the main stars are still on the same brand they're on. So Seth's on Raw
Yeah.
still. I know Cody's gone to SmackDown, which makes sense because they've got the world title. Priest
Yeah.
still on Raw. The factions are wasn't really like really faction breakups. They were still together. Um, I like the War Room thing. The two brands in their war rooms,
Yeah.
and then that was quite good. But I told you just before, but I think for me, the draft when they sat there reading, looking at the cards, it just seems so predetermined.
Yeah.
Which I hate. I know it is, but back in the 2000 like sevens, eights, nine, tens, elevens, it's finished. They used to do the graphic things, go for all the superstars on the screen, and then it would change. Say, John Cena's been drafted to Raw, so that kind of thing. That was like you didn't predict what was going to be. It felt like anyone could go anywhere.
Yeah.
But with the cards now, it just feels like Raw just takes the big stars, but then gets the three leftover stars. So for me, it was a good draft. It wasn't as big as I thought it'd be. Not as many changes as I was hoping for, but I think better than what it's been previously last couple of years.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised at how little big stars changed, to be honest, because I think
Mm.
the NXT call-ups that happened, I think were good, and they were the right to call up. The issue, I don't know why, but in my head, I really thought Gunther would be on SmackDown. And the reason I thought
Yeah.
was that because of the whole how long he's been Intercontinental Champion and how long he's been on Raw now, it'd be nice to see him goes back to SmackDown where he's I think obviously started started his title run. I just thought it'd be cool to see him on the other side, seeing if there's any other matchups he can have. I mean, obviously Ilya Dragunov has now gone to Raw as well, from NXT, which him and Gunther could have a good old scrap. Um,
Mm.
my overall opinions is I agree with you in the sense that it does seem really really predetermined. I did come back at Jack and say that that's how a draft works, but there's no reason why we can't still feel that
Excitement for it.
spontaneous, the
Yeah.
rolling of the names and like whoa, Triple H has gone to SmackDown.
Can I even say as well one thing for that? Like even the old draft, they used to put the announcers in the draft.
Yes,
So
I do like that.
not JR went
JR,
from he said he had no idea he was being drafted, and
yeah,
he discrepancy Colton Swart. That kind of thing. Anyone could be in the draft. The ring
yeah.
announcers, for
I
example.
do like because then to be fair, because you could just draft them back to Raw or SmackDown if you wanted to keep them the same,
Mm,
but you could still keep them in, or even like the announcers, the announce
mm.
team, the ring announcers, sort of thing. Yeah, I do agree. I think they should bring back that sort of randomized thought in your head. Like obviously they know, and the GM should know
Yeah.
because they're picking who they want, but we don't need to know. Like the reading off the cards and about we should have a bit of a fun reaction because I thought NXT's point of view was good when they had everyone in NXT in their performance center and reacting to when they got called up. They should do the same for Raw and SmackDown.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, and what I didn't like, I think I said this to you, Jack, before, was that they got drafted to SmackDown and Kamala Harris and Nia Jax were already there. Well, hang on,
Yeah.
how the fuck did they know they were going to be drafted?
Exactly.
and they were
Exactly.
already on the show. That is the thing I didn't
Yeah.
like. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, I get why they did it, to start their SmackDown run, but the fact that the rosters didn't lock into, well, not locked until tomorrow night when we're recording this,
Mm,
seems a bit like you could have just waited until they were
mm.
actually locked to do things like that.
Yeah. Because I was watching Eric Bischoff podcast about he's break down the draft. I don't know if you've seen it, but
Yeah.
he was basically saying that he thinks that they should scrap the idea of the draft after WrestleMania. Do it where it could just be 365 days a year. You just call a draft at any moment. So he said, I think here's an idea like you could call a draft 4 months down the line, call a draft, change up the rosters.
I mean,
Which
I get,
that was struggle, I
yeah,
think, because also they like to plan very, very far ahead, don't they? I'm sure they got ideas for next WrestleMania
yeah,
already in Las Vegas, which was announced last night. So that idea I wouldn't agree with because I feel like if they did do that, they would be rushing a lot of their storylines. So I think maybe you could do a draft. The latest you could probably do it would probably be like May,
yeah. Because
latest.
when
But
Vince did it, he did it in October, just before
mm,
Survivor Series, because I'd never fucking got that, because he did a show the next month where it was all about brand supremacy, and the
mm,
brands have literally just swapped a month beforehand, so how's that
yeah,
going to afford any of that royalty?
well, wasn't that the Civilized breakup? Wasn't it?
Yeah,
It wasn't a
they did
draft.
things like that, and it's like, I wouldn't, actually, to be fair, it wouldn't be as bad now, because they have War Games, it's not really the same
Mm,
concept anymore, but I agree with Bischoff that yeah, I don't mind it, but I actually like the idea of it being after WrestleMania because that is when things get a little bit, get a bit limbo. What's happening, you know? But I actually think that Triple H is going to do a good thing this year. In that, I don't think there's really going to be a limbo period or a dip down
no,
period because if you look at Backlash,
mm,
that wasn't a dip down. They made that
mm,
good, and then you've got all this other international shows that are going to make the shows better. So I do think the draft is a good idea to have it after WrestleMania, but I just think it could be executed slightly better next year if they do it again.
really.
And also, stick to the draft, please. Please, can we have everyone that's on SmackDown stay on SmackDown and the same on
Yeah,
Raw? At least
no,
until WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble starts, when anyone
yeah,
can be picked from it. I don't mind
no,
that, but not not now. Not next
no,
week. You fucking see Gunther on SmackDown.
no
Yeah.
wild card rules,
Oh,
no
God, no, that was awful. Why did he do that?
bizarre shake-ups where three come
Yeah.
from Raw, two from
No,
SmackDown.
no, no. There's no point in doing that. But
No,
there has been a set. They said, I don't know if it was agreed or not. There might be trades,
I don't mind trades.
but as long as
That
they're
I don't
not
mind.
until like later in the year, like
But as long
mid.
as they don't do trades and then they just sort of scrap it towards like in the rest of the year, kind of everyone's
Yeah,
going. That's what
yeah,
I don't like.
no,
And just you can trade with someone maybe 6 months down the line. You can maybe do like a
yeah,
trade sort of, where Raw and SmackDown come together. Right, they often make trades. But Bischoff as well said one point. One fan said on his podcast that I actually agree with that when you're doing drafts, have the superstars be involved with the drafts. So in kayfabe,
yeah,
talk about wages and contracts,
yeah,
that kind of thing. So if you want Drew on SmackDown, Nick Aldis has got to make Drew come to SmackDown.
yeah. Because to be fair, they did that with Braun Breaker and Jake Cargill, didn't they? They got that
Mm,
on CM Punk as well. They held that
mm,
segment of them. So yeah, they could
mm.
have done that and had like various big stars and yeah, I agree with that actually. I like that
There should be a
idea.
whole night of like the GMs going to be like, right, come to SmackDown. I'll give you
Yeah,
X amount of money. I'll give you a world title shot
yeah.
and incorporate some storylines into it
Yeah,
maybe.
you see a scene where Adam Pearce is talking to Drew, and then you see a scene where Nick Aldis is
Yeah,
talking to Drew. Something.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree. I think that's a good idea actually. I wouldn't be against them doing that next time. Yeah, so I think overall summary of the draft was that it was fine. I don't have any real issues where people went. I think there would have been yeah, but it was there. It would have been nice to have a few more changes, like big stars wise. I wouldn't even be opposed to seeing Drew SmackDown, but it's all about Netflix, isn't it? Really, let's be real there. I think it was or it was fine. Could have been better, and hopefully they do something a little bit different next time. But yeah, that's my overall thoughts on the draft. We'll get into our review of Backlash. Now I've not got my phone with me, but I think because it was literally last night and it lasted about under 3 hours. Uncle Howdy's in my room. Um, we'll talk about a review of the card and we'll run down it as quick as we can and we'll give our thoughts on it. I think the first thing we'll do is because I don't want to keep going on about it because we all know the crowd was great. The crowd was very very good. They were probably one of the loudest crowds, loudest for sure, that has been for a while. There were some moments that I think people have said that it takes them out of it. But what I do like about this crowd, even though they had their moments where they chanted random stuff, when there was big moments in the matches, they still took a notice and reacted to those moments. So it didn't really matter.
I was thinking that during their show. I was thinking, I like them chanting, but the guys are in the ring doing stuff. You're busy chants, not focusing on what they're on. But I think most chants were related to the 1, 2.
The two. By the end of the match, I was like, I'm kind of glad this is going to be end because that chant did wind me up a bit.
Yeah.
But I did like the AJ Styles one because obviously it was quite funny every time that he did something. Phenomenal.
The phenomenal one,
yeah, it was quite funny. But yeah, the crowd was great. I don't want to keep going on about it the whole time we're reviewing this, so I thought we'd get out of the way now and say crowd was great, and that France should get another show down the line somewhere. Right, let's get the first.
Not for us, though.
No, I mean we've got to be fair. English. Too fucking pricey. Yeah, I looked at the prices again, and they were about 1,000.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, no wonder it was the largest gate. Probably France was similar. Right, so yeah, Backlash. The first match was going to be obviously Randy Orton and Kevin Owens versus Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa, the new bloodline. It was going to be a normal tag team match, but they started off as you wanted them to brawl. Refs came out, started to get them away. Okay, then Kevin started to stun the security that got there as well. One was a former NXT star. As well, and then Nick Aldis came down, which I actually quite liked because I don't know if anyone really realised that he came out because they were SmackDown guys as well. It wasn't just like Nick Aldis came for no reason. He came out and said that you guys stop fucking about, stop fucking with the refs, stop doing shit, stop playing with the rules. You have no rules, it's no disqualification and no countouts. It's street light. So then they carried on. Randy and who was Randy with? Tama.
Tama Tonga.
Yeah, and then Kevin was with Solo. They kept brawling in the crowds. There was a moment where Randy lost Tama and they went with Kevin and they ganged up on him. Yeah, this was a great match. He had a good spot with Kevin Owens. I can't fucking remember what he calls it. It's like a suplex where they hook the leg and they twist the man and lands on the chairs. It was a mega spot and fucking well done for Tama to taking that on his first match in WWE. And he did that. He had a good spot where Randy got Samoa dropped onto the table. But Tama, I think, did Tama get hit on the table as well? Was that Solo?
No, Tama got barcode on the table.
On the announce table, yeah. So some good moments there, and then obviously we had the debut of Tanga Loa. Remember that, Jack? Tanga Loa. We had no fucking idea who it was. Ironically, he used to be Camacho in WWE when he was with Hunico. Randomly. I don't know, but then at least he's not Mexican. That's not what I'm saying. Like, his character, they're not portraying him as a Mexican when he's not. That's close. Yeah, so yeah, he came in. Everyone was expecting Jacob Fatu, which I think I quite liked the fact that... honestly, I think Uncle Hardy's going to take me over at one point. Everyone expected Jacob Fatu, but it was quite nice to have a nice surprise. And Tanga Loa showed up, who was Tama Tonga's brother, who they actually were tag team, which was quite cool. Then you had, so then the bloodline, the new bloodline is starting to form. You have Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Tanga Loa. Obviously, Tanga Loa helping them get the win. Solo Sikoa pinning Kevin Owens with a spike.
I call it the Rogue Bloodline.
The Rogue Bloodline is a good name.
The Rogue one, isn't it?
Yeah, Paul Heyman does not like it. I can see in his face he does not like it. There was a backstage segment later on the show when they saw Jey Uso, and Paul Heyman was like this to Jey Uso. Don't know what that means, but there's a little secret thing there. That could be very fun down the line, because I think Jey will be involved with what they do. But yeah, this was a great match. It was a great opener. It was fucking off the chain from the start. Good finish.
Did you see thingy on... I don't know if it's but there was a clip on... There's a fan in the barricade behind the announcers videoing when Tank Toe along
with him. You did share it.
Came out and he was way too slow with...
Yeah, he did. He wasn't ready, so the ref put himself out.
Yeah.
It was quite funny. But there you go. Let's not fucking judge him too soon. Then, so yeah, that was a great match. I thought it was a good opener.
Match.
Huh?
10 out of 10 match.
Yeah, it was great. Huh? But yeah, no, it was great, and it was very fun to watch. It was a good way to start the show. Then, any thoughts? Just 10 out of 10.
On the match, no, but I think you just summed it up perfectly. I think for me, it was a fantastic match, 10 out of 10. Great way to start the show. I knew it wouldn't have ended up being a regular tag match because those type of stars just didn't care about the rules, just want to beat each other up.
Yeah.
Which was what happened. It's quite fun seeing the heels win in last night because as soon as the heels win, the crowd goes so silent, which is great. Like killed the mood, didn't it? Flatlined, which is great. I don't think this won't be the last time. I think Randy and Kevin will get involved with the bloodline. They're just going to evolve now more into whatever it will be. Really, wait till Mr. Castle and see.
Yeah, you lagged massively there, but that was fine.
Did I?
No, it's fine.
Fine on my screen.
No, you're right. Yeah, overall great match. Then the next match, I believe, if I can remember, was the women's triple threat.
For the undisputed
women's title. Between Bayley, Tiffany Stratton, and Naomi. Naomi had a fucking great reaction from the crowd when she was doing the ush things. And that was good. Tiffany Stratton as well. Always seems to get good reactions now. Tiffy time! We had Bayley, who also obviously always international crowds seem to love Bayley. I thought this was a great match as well. I thought there was a great back and forth action between all three. There was a couple of moments where I thought it was a little bit odd. I think the start was a bit odd, but other than that, it was a great triple threat, and I think everyone got their moves in, and I think it was a good finish, and I think obviously Bayley winning, and yeah, I think it was a good match as well.
I agree.
Yeah, great one there, but yeah, obviously Bayley retaining. Hopefully she has a long reign and a good title defenses, because I think the issue with Io Sky's reign was that she didn't really defend it that much. Was the issue with her reign. So hopefully Bayley gets a few more defenses, which she already has, to be fair, on SmackDown. So yeah, that was a good match as well. Then you had Damian Priest versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. Again, I thought this was a decent match. I don't think there was anything majorly wrong with it. I thought Priest and Jey Uso had a good back and forth. Obviously, JD McDonough and Finn Balor got involved, which Damian Priest didn't actually want, but it did help him in the end, where he did a South Heaven chokeslam off the top rope that pinned Jey Uso. After the match, Finn and JD were attacking Jey, and Damian said, "Fucking get off him." We're not like that now, and I think this is proving the end of the Judgment Day, because Dom's off TV, Rhea's off TV, and Damian's world champion. Let's get Finn and JD away. Maybe they'll form a tag team themselves. But yeah, I thought this was, again, a good match, and unfortunately Jey Uso didn't get the victory, but it probably was too early in Priest's run to take it away. Thoughts?
I agree. The entrance that Jey did was really good for the crowd.
Oh yes, if I would say that. It's great entrance.
That's probably one of the best entrances I've ever seen ever.
Yeah.
In the crowd.
The
match was really good.
Forgot to mention in the first match, singing Randy Orton's song, which no one has ever done before, and it was incredible.
No, that was pretty good. Yeah, all singing both nights. That may be a new thing now. Where international crowds were singing. I know, obviously, if Randy ever did a UK show, I'll be blasting out his theme song. But yeah, the World Title match was good. I was hoping for a Jey win, but it's inevitable, wasn't it, for the Judgment Day to get involved. So we usually see what Jey does next after this.
Yeah, that'd be a bit.
Try and chase the World Title again, maybe. So you have to get your friends involved to get the win. So it'd be interesting to see. Yeah.
I think what they need to do now is try and elevate Priest and maybe get him some more big challenges. I think that's the issue right now. Feels a bit mid-card at the moment.
It does.
But with a few big challenges, maybe getting Gunther in there or something, or Sheamus maybe. Well, get them to challenge Damian Priest and get him to victory over them. It will start making that title get a bit more bigger again when it was with Seth. Then the next match, probably the sloppiest match of the night, I'd say, was the women's tag match between Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and the Kabuki Warriors for the tag team championships. I think let's put it blunt. There was a weird moment between Kairi Sane and the referee that
Mhm.
sort of then derailed the match because the communication went, and then Jade Cargill had to improvise, which obviously I don't think that's her strongest suit when it's not going. They're trying to bridge her in slowly by doing this tag team with Bianca Belair. That was not a good start to have when a communication
No,
breaks down and she's trying to
no,
improvise it. Oh, they had good moments in it. I think the transition with the Gland Slam, whatever, I don't know what Jade calls it actually, but that
oh no. I
move,
thought the glam stank
yeah.
was Beth Phoenix.
I thought that was a good transition, but it was just overall a bit messy and the communication broke down in the match really. So it was a bit awkward. And to be fair, I do think the right winners won.
Yeah, I think the damage control thing may start to implode a little bit now. Maybe
Yeah.
the singles run again. Yeah, I think the match was all right. It's a bit sloppy. He said communication where Harrison Pitt was pinning, she wasn't the legal
Yeah.
person. I think at the end, I think Asuka get the wasn't legal or something, or she
One
got
of them wasn't
she got
legal.
pinned.
Yeah, it was odd finish as well. And the ref had a
Yeah,
count of two, I think.
I think they all got confused with
Yeah.
who was where and where they're meant to be, so they're trying to get
Yeah.
back on track. It's a bit difficult, but
Yeah.
it's a bit sloppy. But I wouldn't be too harsh on it.
No,
I think
it wasn't
there's
the
things
worst match of
happen.
the year or anything like
No,
that,
there's
or
things
ever.
happen where communication happens.
I was
So
going to say it might be
what?
worst match of the year. It's fine.
I wouldn't say it's the worst match of the year. I just think that communication can go wrong sometimes,
Yeah,
can't
and
it?
it did.
So
And I
at
don't.
least got back on track.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill are specifically great at that. When things go wrong, I don't think they're the best wrestlers to try and bring it together. I'm a bit shocked that it did happen when Kairi Sane and Asuka are involved because they are great. But then, things can happen.
We don't know the back part, and there could have been a point where Bianca Belair or Jade may have done something. They just couldn't spot it,
Yeah, yeah,
didn't do it right, or
yeah. But yeah, overall it was alright. It was fine, and I think obviously Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are going to go on to do some big things. I think obviously a heel turn is probably inevitable for one of them.
I think Bianca will turn on Jade.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice to see a Bianca Belair heel, which I think she does suit a heel better.
That was rumours like years ago. It was a rumor that she was
So
going
she's
to turn
got turn
heel.
heel, yeah. I think she will. I think she will with Jade, and then maybe
I I think
SummerSlam.
they did a big babyface at the time, so they didn't want to turn her heel. But now
Yeah,
Jade Cargill would be a good babyface. Come out, she's got a big
yeah,
babyface. So I think SummerSlam, my prediction would be for that.
yeah. I think as well. I think that will happen then, and then you had the main event of the evening. You had AJ Styles taking on Cody Rhodes for the WWE Undisputed Championship. This was a great match as well. This was really, really good, actually. Obviously, good chemistry. They've never actually faced each other before, which is interesting. Obviously, AJ Styles came into WWE as Cody left. But yeah, this was a great match. They had good chemistry. AJ Styles hit a 450 splash that Cody kicked out of. Also, a good thing that was interesting that AJ Styles never got to hit one of his finishers, and Cody Rhodes only hit one and got the victory. So
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
quite a interesting way because that doesn't really happen anymore. With a finisher in a pay per view anyway.
I think it's good because it shows that if Cody has a finisher that you can't kick out of
Yeah,
that easily,
yeah,
it'd be awful. His first defense starts kicking out of the crossroads twice.
yeah,
He hasn't got a good finisher there. How can he win
yeah.
the titles? He needed to have a good finisher to get the win, which he did.
Because it is interesting now because obviously the whole Roman match before and the one before that you feel like he has to hit three for the victory to happen, but he got the one here, and I think it was a great match. The crowd was probably the most chanting themselves in this match, but in the big moments they did react. It was good. But yeah, this match was great, and hopefully I think this is the way they're going to bring Cody's reign now. I think it's going to be like really good technical wrestlers on the other side to give Cody massive long big matches to overcome. So that's how his reign's going to be. Whereas Roman was a bit more slow and methodical. To then he almost was in jeopardy, and then bang, he wins sort of thing, or gets help. Whereas Cody's going to have probably long matches where he's in danger, back and forth, and then I thought this was great, and probably in terms of technical, probably the best match of the night, other than the mental spot fest that was the beginning.
I agree.
Yeah, is that you got thoughts on that one?
No, I think the match was good. I think the crowd made the match really good and what I was a bit where everyone wants a bit of an odd match to have. It doesn't like build to it, but the fans made up for it. But no, it was a really good match. And I'm happy with it. I think they may continue the storyline. I think
Another match. You could do it at the
you can get another
start
one
of
out of that. You can get another match out of that. I think.
it. Yeah, yeah. Also wouldn't be opposed to seeing it again because it was good.
No.
But yeah, overall, I thought this was a good match and a very very good pay per view, elevated by the crowd as well. But yeah, I thought this was a great show, and this is a big reason why their B shows are now international, because shows like this, what are already good, feel more elevated, and it just allows. I mean, they had 5 matches that had real no build to any of them, and they all lived up. Well, 8 probably blew expectations out of the water, really.
Mm.
So I think this is over was a great show, and yeah, I think this will be memorable as well because of the crowd.
Yeah, I think I'd give it 8.5 out of 10 if I was rating that show.
Yeah, I don't disagree
Yeah,
with that.
I think it was good. Also, there's a couple of things you did forget to mention.
Mm-hmm.
That the QR code
Yes,
teaser
the
for
QR code to Uncle Howdy. It was. When was that?
it flashed up, I think, before the women's tag match.
Yeah, I think yeah. Right.
And the QR code, if you scan it, went to a website on Dory's website where 2 audio clips. So one
Yep.
is from a guy, one's from a girl, talking about the family and it's coming, and open the doors and everything.
That's 3.
That was pretty intriguing. So I think everyone knows that's going to be a faction, the Wyatt Six, I suppose.
Yeah.
Or the Rotunda Six, depends how they're going to call it.
Yeah, it did.
So I think that would be quite good. But also, people were saying that if you highlight the middle of the website text, you can get a number, which we tried calling, didn't we?
Yes,
But
I did call, but it didn't work for me.
But I think you needed an American phone to call it, because people tried to call it and it had the same thing. But also, I found out after the show, what I told you about.
Yeah.
I
struggled
if you hold down the sort of the black part of the website in between the 2 audio clips, and you drag down, copy and paste it. I was trying to get the number. Only instance I did it.
Yeah.
When I pasted it into the group a chat, it said you did this. Quite intriguing.
Yeah.
And told Billy about it, and you can.
I could do it to start with. Well, I'll tell you why I can do it to start with. Because for some reason in my head, I thought you meant the literal link. So I was holding down the link, not the video. That's why I can do it. So then when obviously I saw the video that you shared that showed how to do it, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. So then I went in and I did exactly how he did it and put it on the notes, and it was doing it. I actually didn't get the full thing because for some reason I just got did about 3 times. So then I did you, got you, and I was like, I know what this word's going to be because Jack's already shared it, so I know what's happening. So it just did. So it was did you. Very scared about it.
But I think if people were also looking in the code of the website, there was some letters that spell out the King of the Ring date for later this month in Saudi Arabia. So maybe there could be not a debut, but maybe there could be a big
tease, big reveal, maybe.
Maybe who's in the faction, maybe, or a couple of people in the faction, maybe kind of appear. But I don't think we're too far off. No. But I think probably the next month, I think they'll arrive.
Yeah.
So the Backlash press conference after the show, which I watched, was really good. So I think Triple H was on there. It was a couple of moments in there that were quite good, talking about more international shows, looking at Italy as a place to go for an international show. Also mentioned about Sadiq Khan, the London mayor, being re-elected, and he said again, let's talk again, which is kind of spontaneous because he didn't need to say that, but he said it. So, which basically I think proved that WrestleMania is going to be coming in the next 5 years. I think London.
I think it's a destination that needs to happen most.
Yeah, I think logistically it probably makes the most sense as London because it's the place one they probably go to outside the United States. And maybe they could incorporate a European tour as well, maybe after it. So maybe do a WrestleMania in London, then do a France pay-per-view in April.
Yeah.
Those kind of things are quite good. Or somewhere else after WrestleMania could do it in Europe.
Yeah.
Quite good. And then at the end, just before the conference finished, a bit early, so Triple H was like, any more questions? Get one more extra question in. And of all the questions they could ask, the guy mentioned about Drew Gulak being released.
Ah.
Did I hear about this? I don't think you heard about
You did, but I thought you meant Drew McIntyre.
No, so Drew Gulak. So he
Yeah.
mentioned about Drew Gulak being released. And what was he released because of Ronda Rousey miscalculation? So, well, the question they could have
Yeah.
asked, the extra one, but we were thinking she should have left it earlier.
Yeah.
So he answered it basically saying that basically, because the guy said about PW Insider and
Yeah.
another dirt sheet, and he responded by saying, if you go get credible sources, use good ones, not those ones.
Yeah.
And he said that Drew Gulak's contract just expired. It wasn't renewed.
Right.
But a lot was saying that it's a bit of coincidence for his contract to expire. Just as these allegations came out. So apparently after Peter said I went to WWE and actually got a statement to say that Triple H, wasn't meaning them because apparently they said, or the news that she said, we've never actually reported on that rumor. So it's all gone off a little bit. So it's all gone off between them a little bit now. With Peter Insider saying we never reported this ever, so I don't know why our name's been dragged in. They said they always try and be sort of open and honest with their reporting. So that is quite interesting. But the Triple H has got a point now. A lot of the dirt sheets do about BS.
Oh yeah, most of them do. That's how they get clicks now.
So that was quite a fun way to end it. And then also WrestleMania 41 next year.
Yeah.
Taken away by Minneapolis, by Las Vegas.
Yeah.
On April 19th and 20th. Easter weekend.
Yeah, and also what was good about that, because obviously we had that fear that they were going to do it to May.
Yeah.
But luckily it's in April. But it's a little bit later in April.
Yeah, I think it's the latest one they've ever done.
Yeah. I don't mind that, to be honest, though.
A lot more build, I suppose. Yeah, a lot more build to it.
Yeah.
Which means if The Rock does come up for next WrestleMania, he'll be there for longer than regular. It'll be longer as WrestleMania. But it was the thing, because after that, because you can't do it at the start of May. I mean, 2 weeks after WrestleMania, so that means there's probably only one pay-per-view in May next year, because you can't do 2 pay-per-views in May. You can't do one 2 weeks after WrestleMania because there'll be no build for it, will there?
No.
But so hopefully May 42 could be a London one. Never know.
Hopefully that would be the hopeful destination.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some rumours on that probably throughout this year, probably.
Yeah. About
that maybe next year as well, where they're going to go. But Las Vegas probably seems a better place to go, isn't it, than Minneapolis?
Yeah, I think Las Vegas is a good choice, and yeah, I think that was a good week, really, a good pay-per-view. Some Michael Howdy issues, and we probably think that it may be in Saudi.
Hope not.
I hope not, because the crowd actually won't be particularly great. It'd be great if it was in Castle Castle. But yeah, overall, great show. And yeah, obviously we've got intriguing things coming with WWE, the whole fallout of the new bloodline and what's going to happen with the King of the Ring as well. Obviously, we've got some good matches coming up. We've got Sheamus and Gunther going at it again, and Ilya Dragunov versus Ricochet, which I think will be great as well. And yeah, some good matches, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do next. So yeah, I think that was a great show, and that brings us to the end of the podcast. Thank you, Japan, for joining me once again. This has been the Gibbs Corner. If you enjoyed it, please do lick the like button. Well, there we go. And yeah, subscribe for more. And until then, I'll see you in the next one. Until then,
and he is coming.
ta-ra.
He's coming.
Yeah.